Welcome to the Jeremiah Interdenominational Missionary Church, where Jesus is Lord, and we all need to be praying for our country, for our leaders, and our children, our grandchildren, nieces, nephews, and neighbors. I mean, I'm just like that. You need to pray for everybody. It's a bad storm. By the time you would have seen that, we have storms off and on. But the night while we're shooting, they're supposed to have a bad storm about 8 o'clock. So hopefully we're home by then. Not unless they changed it on the news.
Okay.
But
didn't know that.
You know, I'm just saying that guys, pay attention to the weather report because by the time you see this, we will be into the next week. And next week is supposed to be hot like this week, okay? So if you have flowers outside, I suggest that you water them. If they can come inside, you know, I would bring them inside, and then late at night, you know, if it's cooled down, then I would take them back outside. But roses thrive off of this kind of weather. You just got to give them a little bit of water.
My tomatoes are growing beautifully.
Yeah, so there's certain plants out there, yeah, I'm glad the sun's out. I mean, you know, I'm glad the rain rains when it rains, okay, because they need it by then, right? So, but that's the way God works. So he's awesome. You know, it's from him that he makes these things happen, and to happen for purpose. And sometimes we think that is a bad thing, but we don't know what's going all over, you know, all over the world, and we don't know what's needed where, you know what I mean? We're supposed to be at one time, we were supposed to be one of the safest places that you could live, right here in the, excuse me, right here in the DMV, because we sat down in the valley. That don't even matter no more, because we had thunderstorms, you know, tornadoes, those tornadoes that came through here. 9 of them in 1 week, 1 day. It doesn't even matter where you are, you know, because God is everywhere. Let's remember that. God is awesome and God is everywhere. And he is truly to be praised. And I thank him for watching over me, my friends, the people that you viewers that are out there, because it is so important for us right now in this day and time to recognize who he is, what he is to us. And he says, no weapons can form against us that will prosper. But you know, that goes both ways. So he still wants to ask for us to ask. We can't be acting like we think that everything that we're doing, that we have done it. We haven't done anything. You know, if we truly trust him, he's leading and guiding us every step of the way. He puts people in our lives that walk on 2 feet that he knows that are spirit guides, and we can communicate and talk to him. Like my good friend, I'm gonna have him introduce himself.
Oh.
That was a whole intro to you, man.
Well, good afternoon. My name is Donald Bell. I am an attorney here in Maryland. I'm here local in Prince George's County. My office is located in Greenbelt, and I've been on the show many times, and I'm happy to be back. So thank you for inviting me back.
And you know, it's always a joy to have you here. And so, you know, I'm just so glad that you're here. It's always a joy, and I can rely on you all the time, you know. So you were the first person I did 3 shows with. We did it, and we had time to spare, you know. I told Tom's boss, right, I said, we did 3 shows. We did 3 shows last week. She said, Tom told me that. Did you really do 3 shows? I said, yeah, we really did 3 shows, and we had 15 minutes to spare. She said, oh, okay. So kudos to you, Tom, okay?
You took the words right out of my mouth. I said, would it be possible without Tom? So.
It would not be possible without Tom. So kudos to Tom, okay? So we thank you. And it made your boss smile. And she did after she said, yeah, I really did. Yeah. She really smiled at that. I said, yeah, we did. We had minutes to spare. So we could not do it without Tom, and I want to really thank him. And Mark, when he's here with us, but he hadn't been with us for 3 shows yet.
Okay.
So we'll see. Okay. Anyway, I just want to say, when we have the other reverend that's in here, Ross, we thought he was going to be with us tonight, and we also thought that it was a time that we could have gotten the mayor in here, because he said he was excited to come on the show, but they forgot there was a conference this week, so he's not able to make it, because I was really excited. I was going to surprise you. Okay. Okay. So we're not going to give up, because he says he was excited to come on our show. Our city manager wants me to get a guy from the I think it's called SBCD, to have on the show, and I'm supposed to reach out to somebody else, and then it's a council person that they want me to have on the show.
Well, so I think it's important. I mean, particularly as we move into this election year. I mean, I know if officials here in Bowie may not be up for election, but I think it's important to have people who represent the people of this city to come on to this show and talk about relevant things that are going on in this city.
Yeah, and the other thing is that, because I said to him, I said, well, you know, I can't have you on during election year. He said, that's not my election year. I mean, I didn't mean it like that. I was just letting him know that during election year, I can't have him on the show unless I can get every candidate in here. But on the off season, yeah, he welcome come as many times he wants, you know.
Yeah, but I think this is off season.
Just the off season for here. Yeah, yes. And so he was real proud. And then I told him that I have a picture of him and me and my son, and when we were over at, he did a speech over at, before he got elected, over at the new art center that's in Bowie Town Center. Okay. He had one of his after rallies there, and I have a picture with him and a couple of other people in a picture with him on my fireplace. Right? Okay. And so he kind of smiled. He said, you do? I said, yeah, I sure do. And I said, the young boy that was helping him, Kevin at the time.
Keep on reeling him in. Yeah. You got to get him in here.
Kevin I talked to him because he was a young person that he had that was working with him. But I talked to him and he said that he was in college and he's doing his last semester, so he's not working with him right now. But I guess when he starts running again, because I think they're kind of relatives. I think after he starts running again, he'll be back over to help him, but he's not even in the city. But I hope to have them all here, you know, at some point. We've been able to talk to them one-on-one, you know, but it would be nice to have them, you know, in the studio. And also, next week, one of the administrators that over at Baysox Stadium is coming in to the studio. Not next week, it's the 11th, because we closed on I'm not coming in here on the 4th.
On the 4th.
So I think, let me check my calendar right quick. Think about something to talk about right quick. Don, you got something that's important that you need to tell us?
Well, again, I'm happy to be back here. And I'm happy to be back here on a church show. I don't think we've done a church show in a while.
Yeah, we did one the last 2 times. You did one the last time you were here. And then we did one with the last group of people, because we did 3 shows. We did 3 different shows. All 3 of them were the shows that we did. So you were here for, you did the first church show that we did 3. And then we did the second church show with the next group of people that came in. So this will be the 3rd one with all of them at the same time.
Well, we're right in the midst of summer right now. So, you know, I just think that it's very important for people to, you know, pay attention to your surroundings. It's very hot outside. Make sure you stay properly hydrated. If you're taking medication, make sure you take your medication. If you have little ones like I do, don't let them stay outside too long right now, because their bodies aren't accustomed to this type of heat that we're having. I think I was talking to Tom when we came in, and you as well. I think the temperature was almost 100 degrees today, and every day it's been, you know, near that mark. And also the elderly. You know, if you don't have a cool place to be, then I think, you know, it's very important that you find a cool place to be so your body doesn't react negatively to this heat. I think this heat is here to stay. This hot weather is here to stay. You said there may be some thunderstorms or some storms coming in today, so maybe that's a good thing. Hopefully, it'll cool us off a little bit. But this heat is has been, you know, it's been almost unbearable these last couple of weeks.
Right, and we haven't, and really, I'm really concerned about our senior citizens, okay?
Yes.
Because they do, if they don't order, my mother orders, okay, from the different places. Well, not that, my niece orders for her for food and stuff like that.
Oh, food, okay.
And she orders Amazon and all those kinds of things, and I don't know why my throat is trying to make me cough. Excuse me. And she, so she doesn't have to go out there unless she has to.
Okay.
Excuse y'all, I swear I don't know what's going on with my throat. I think it's the pollen. Has to be. Didn't happen though until I walked into this building. So anyway, so I just really want to make sure that you guys, and then please, I don't know why we having all these fires, because I know people are not running heaters, okay? And I'm not quite sure. I think the one that we had last night, they said it was a kid that was playing with matches or something. Um, but then you had so many people that were displaced. I think it was like almost 30 people that were displaced.
Well, as hot and as humid as it is, and as
And they were
dry
in
as it
Buffalo.
is. Yeah. So I mean, you strike a match, and that match hits like something flammable, it's going to spread pretty quickly. So
Yeah.
you have to be careful about playing with matches and and whatnot, particularly in
Excuse me. Yes. Yeah, but it's so many of them that we're having that's really amazing that we're having right now that I don't understand, and they don't know why. And they're all over the place. It's not in one particular area. It's in Montgomery County, PG County, D.C. You name them.
Mhm.
And the house fires in Virginia.
Mhm.
They have house fires and they have apartment building fires.
Okay.
The one over in Spring Hill Lake, they said that they've had those quite a few times, fires over there. So I don't know what it is that's happening in there, but especially in your home.
So Spring Hill Lake is in Greenbelt, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, that's almost where your office is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So if you've been painting, let me say this too. Because a lot of people are fixing up houses and things, right? And if
Mhm.
you've been painting and you got oil rags and stuff laying around in a bucket and it's sitting outside, or you got it in the house upstairs, can't see you putting it upstairs in your attic.
Mhm.
Not a bucket of rags, but I mean, I'm just saying.
Mhm.
You need to be careful with those too, because those were at night on their own, So you have to be careful with, oil rags or paint rags and water that you got oil down in and it's near your home. You need to be careful about that as well. Now, I met a new friend I want to tell you. I thought he's going to be here on the 18th. And what I'm trying to do is promote Bowie, okay?
Okay.
And he's from the Bowie Baysox. He's going to give me the updates that they have. This is not for this week, it's actually for next week, because I talked to him before I came in.
Okay.
And so you have up-to-minute information. He's going to make sure that I get the information for the week that this is show on Sunday. So Sunday you have up-to-the-minute whatever's going on with the Bowie Baysox. And so he told me the Bowie Baysox upcoming homestand. The Bowie Baysox, a AA affiliate of the Baltimore Orioles, returned to Prince George's Stadium for a 3-game homestand beginning on Monday, July the 1st at 6:35 p.m. against the Richmond Flying Squirrels, the AA affiliate of the San Francisco Giants. The 3-game series goes through July the 1st through July the 3rd. Promotions include kids cheer free on Monday with the purchase of a full prize box seat. Tuesday is Military Appreciation Week. Oh, that's really nice.
Yeah.
Military Appreciation Night with a half-price box ticket to those with proof of military service, okay? And on the last night, which is Wednesday, is an Independence Day celebration with the biggest fireworks show of the season. Ha! So you might want to go. The Baysox game won July the 4th jerseys last year and will be auctioned off to benefit Promised Land Farm. So any shirt that they wore last year to the game on July the 4th,
Okay.
they will be auctioning them off, to people this year. Ticket plans, group offers, and single ticket games are on sale for the 2024 season. For more information, because I told him I can't give no numbers, okay?
Uh-huh.
So, but I can say this to you, for more information, you can dial 301-805-6000 or visit them online at baysox.com, and that's spelled BAYSOX.com. Stay up to date with the latest team news and promotional info by following the Baysox on Facebook, Instagram, and X. And thank you, and that is from Garrett. His last name is spelled KWOK, so I don't want to kill your last name, so I'm going to spell it, okay? He is the public relations assistant at Bowie Baysox. Okay, so you can reach him if you want to email him. You can email him at G as in George, KWOK at Baysox, BAYSOX.com. And thank you for sending me that information. And I plan on giving updates, at the week before, so that you can see it. So everything I just told you is about next week. So if you're watching this on Sunday, it's during the week, July 1st through July 3rd and July 4th, okay? So we're right on time.
Perfect timing.
Yes. And I'm glad that we're going to try to work that out so that you can have real-time information by the time that it airs, you know. And he is supposed to be a guest. That's what I was looking for. He's supposed to be inside our studio. I think it's on the 18th. No, it might be the 11th. Yep, he'll be here on July the 11th, and you're supposed to be here that day.
I think I'll be here that day.
Yeah, you're supposed to be there that day, and Donald, you two supposed to be there. I mean, Ross.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, we'll just check and see. But he will be here on that day.
Okay.
We confirmed that today. And so that'll play the following week.
Okay.
So I'm glad that happens. The mayor was supposed to be here today. Well, he wasn't supposed to. We were trying to check his schedule to see if he was able to come today. But apparently all of them went to a conference this week and he wasn't able to make it. But he's very excited about coming on. And like I said, the city manager, Una Cooper, referred someone to me that she wants to come on our show. And then there was another councilman that I met that he's interested in coming on to our show as well. So I'm trying to make sure that you're here on those days, if you can make any of those days.
I'll do my best.
Yeah.
I'll do my best.
So it's good to know that, we are, bringing them in the studio. Now, my compadre that works with me on BCMC, he works outside, so he does all the footage at the stadium. They knew I wasn't going out there in that heat, okay? But Terrence,
at the Baysox Stadium.
yes,
Okay.
I have credentials. I can go. You
Okay.
know, I can sit in the skybox, okay? But Terrence does such a wonderful job. I must give him. His name is Terrence Pitts. He's a BCMC secretary for the board. He has his own shows, and one of them is bringing you on the field, okay, information as it goes on from the Bowie Baysox Stadium. So look him up on YouTube or on our station. I think he submits, but he should be on our station too.
Okay.
But anything that you want to see, like what's going on out there. I was out there with him the first day. But it was his second day. It was my first day.
Okay.
And I met quite a few people.
This at the Baysox Stadium?
Yeah, at the Baysox Stadium.
Okay.
And I met the coach. I met some, baseball players, and I met the general manager and two of the productions assistants.
Okay.
And I watched him, and I watched Terrence in action, and he is awesome because he has a tripod for he does all of his on phone.
Okay.
He has a tripod with his telephone. He has lavaliers that he has for his iPhone.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's not, yeah, it's iPhone. Lavaliers, and then he has his own mic,
Mm-hmm.
And when I was asking the general manager if I could get him to come to the studio, he said, oh yeah, just, schedule me. I said, I'm working with Garrett. Okay, when we get that straight, I'll get back to you. So then I heard Terrence interview him, right? I heard Terrence say, oh, well, I can interview you out here, and it looked like it's inside of a studio. And I said, but no, he told me, encouraged me, it's just different that they're out there on the field and he could do that. But he said, Paula, I want them to come in the studio too. And I said,
Okay.
yeah, okay. And so between the two of us, we're going to try to do the best that we can to try to reintroduce you to the Bowie Baysox, okay? I will bring you inside news, and Terrence Pitts does a very good job as bringing you on, outside news. Another thing that Terrence did, I had to give him kudos. Now, you've seen those pictures with me with Sugar Ray Leonard and Tommy Hearns.
Yeah, you showed me those pictures.
Yeah, and the slide thing.
Yes.
Well, he sent us a clip. He's going to actually be interviewing him in 2 weeks.
Okay.
And he sent us a clip, and I said, boy, that he saw, he must have been in the area somewhere, and he saw me, they went in the gym together. I said, wow. I said, it reminds me when I was young. You know how you get that go-get-em attitude? You're going to catch everybody everywhere, and you can't. And I kind of had to kind of smile. I said, because that's the kind of luck when I was coming along, when I was younger than him, that I would bump into these kinds of people. I said, man, I got some pictures I want to show you, because I'm with Tommy Hearns, Hector Camacho, and Sugar Ray Leonard. He said, yeah, that's because you old.
Oh, wow.
He said, you talking about, oh, my, but I got Davis. I got, when they started fighting down here, national MGMs.
Okay.
And Davis did a fight down there with the brothers. Y'all don't be mad at me because I got a big old poster in my house with y'all on it. And then they gave me a boxing pin necklace that you can put around your necks. So, I mean, I was into sports, but they got that, I mean,
but everybody in this area knows who Sugar Ray Leonard is. So.
Yeah. But I got a
So
picture
old or young, Sugar, Ray Leonard is like
an icon in this
this
area.
icon
'cause
in
he
this
live
area.
in Palmer Park.
Right there in Palmer Park. So he's Prince George's County's own. So
And he got his gym here.
yeah.
He has a gym here that he's had here for years,
Yeah.
And I used to work with his brother. In fact, I had a news. I showed you the article that we had from
Yeah.
Washingtonian magazine.
Yeah.
And when I said that, Terrence said, "You really old." I said, "That's okay. I don't care." Okay. But I was actually in the Washingtonian magazine with Sugar Ray and what I was doing with them.
Yeah.
In fact, 2 issues.
But it's
I was
amazing
in.
how media has changed.
It has.
During your time and my time, newspapers, and then it was like just the regular news over the TV, and then it became cable. Cable became the thing, and right now it's social media. So it seems like a lot of people don't even go and read newspapers anymore. Like younger folks don't go and read newspapers anymore. And younger people don't watch the news, so they don't watch CNN or Fox or anything of that nature, MSNBC or anything like that. They get their news from social media. They get their news from like blogs, and I don't even know like what the new thing is now.
I don't either.
Yeah.
Since they're trying to take TikTok away, we actually have to take that off our station because it was a national thing that they were trying to make everybody not use it.
Yeah.
And I was just getting ready to learn how to use it because I started seeing old people on it, and they just do clips.
Well, I'm gonna tell you right now, TikTok is addictive. I had to take it off my phone.
Is it?
Yeah, because you will be on TikTok, and it'll be 1 o'clock in the morning. You'll just be up scrolling,
Laughing.
and then before you know it, it's like 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. You spend 3 or 4 hours. So you got to be very careful with those social media sites. It will take up so much of your time. I literally had to take it off my phone because it was just taking up so much of my time, throughout in the evening times and throughout the day. So sometimes you get in a situation where you're not even you can't be as productive as you need to be because you're just on there. You just find so many interesting things from so many different people from so many different parts of the country and from the world. So yeah, I had to leave TikTok alone,
Well, they
and
told
that
us-
was well before the government came out, with their concerns and whatnot. So probably maybe a year or so ago, I had to take TikTok off my phone, and I hadn't been back on it because again, it was getting to the point where it was becoming a problem. You'll have a good time on TikTok.
Well, you're a poster child for adult TikTok users, okay?
Yeah.
Because they're talking about how it consumes the young people and
Yeah.
the mental health, issue with the young people.
Yeah.
But we need to write in and tell them, hey, we got a real live adult that's saying the same kinds of things.
Yeah.
But that's
And also TikTok, and this is my opinion. Sometimes with these social media companies, they promote certain agendas, and I'm not here to say what agenda, but you kind of start seeing like videos that promote a certain viewpoint and whatnot. And so you become sort of engrossed in that, and if you don't watch it, you can get sort of wrapped up into that. So part of what I had to do also was sort of pull myself back away from that, because I started seeing like certain videos, like there'd be a funny video, and then it would be like a video like that would have like a certain type of social or political or economic agenda and whatnot.
Okay. It sucked you right in. I'm talking about accidentally. You got sucked in because you would laugh.
What's happening is, you get to the point where you start getting sucked in, and maybe whereas you're trying to see things from many different viewpoints, only that viewpoint is being aired on TikTok. And it's not just TikTok, but it's a lot of social media companies. I believe Facebook and Instagram, and like I believe they're all set
And
up
now
like that.
Twitter
where-
not, but now X.
But they're pushing. But it seems to me like some of these social media companies are pushing a certain political, economic, and social agenda, and you have to be able to. We always talk about get out and think for yourself, and read and meet people and talk to people. I think that's why when you were talking about earlier how you out meeting and talking to different people and whatnot. One of the problems with social media is you're not actually talking to people. You're listening to what someone else wants you to hear. So a lot of times when you keep hearing the same thing over and over and over and over and over again, you kind of become engrossed in that. And all of a sudden it will sort of take over your way of thinking. So that's why I always caution people, young people, adults, older people, be careful with social media. It's the same way like with cable. Like you go to like certain cable networks. You go to Fox, you go to CNN, and they're pushing a certain agenda and whatnot. So you got to be able to think for yourself and be able to discern, what's a fact and what's, as our previous president, his administration would talk about alternative facts. You got to be able to discern that. And sometimes when you're only getting one perspective, and that's what I thought the social media platforms were sort of doing.
And I have to agree with you. I don't go on there. At one time I had a Facebook page when I first started here at the studio.
Yeah.
I had a Facebook page for the studio, for my guests, so they could see the shows.
Yeah.
And also to disseminate information, okay? And that was the purpose why I was using Facebook and Twitter at the time.
Yes.
Well, I actually had an assistant, so I'm not gonna say I did it all the time. I had an assistant because at the time when we started out, you had assistants in here. They work with the cameras, they do stuff. We had curtains. We got one set of curtains over there. I just wish one time they just pull them over here, but I know we're in a green set, so they can't do that. But we had assistants and volunteers that would come into the studio and they would help, and you'd sign up on a list, and if you wanted to help somebody else, they could. But we've come a long way now, right? Well, at the time I had her, so that's why I was in Baltimore, I was in DC, and here, and Facebook, and Twitter, and all them other places, because she helped me get that stuff out there, okay? And that's the one thing too, that you gotta keep updated information out there when you take on that task, I'm gonna move back. I got another assistant that said that she's gonna start doing that for me so I can get it funneled into the studio.
Okay.
Now the studio can do my shows, okay, but I'm just talking about and put them on YouTube, okay, but I'm talking about some of those other venues, so that we give them some of that same information that we give them here. It's important for them to hear it out there for those people that can't get us in certain areas,
Well, that's important because those platforms do allow for your message to sort of get out. Yeah.
And so I don't use it as a place where you dog people out, and if you start seeing people doing that, I'll come off quick.
Yeah.
Because I hear about those things. I didn't have that problem, but I would hear about those things, and I was just grateful at the time that I did not have that kind of, fan base that was watching me at the time. They were more interested in what was being said, who was coming on. We had more people that did different types of things at that time too that were coming on. COVID did a lot to us in the industry, period. And that's why social media became such a popular thing. Because you could sit at home and do whatever you wanted to do. You didn't have to.
As we did. We were sitting at home and doing shows.
That's
on
right.
Skype.
We sure were.
Yes.
When the studio was closed, you the only one hung in there with me, and
Yeah.
we helped the show assist them to do Skype,
Yep.
okay? Because they needed somebody to practice on, so they practiced on us.
Yep.
So we've been around and we've been with the studio for a long time, and I just want to say thank you guys. Hopefully we gave y'all some interesting information. I just want you to know about the Baysox at the top of the hour. I'm going to give you that information. And Donald, thank you again, and we want to tell you guys, may God bless you. Stay hydrated and be safe.